right. We have our Terran player. Sorry, no, we have our Protoss player in the red. He's starting for the Startail team. It is
Startail, Parting.
As Wolf already pointed out earlier, Parting was able to defeat Alive in the third round of Code A, advanced to Code S. And will he be able to do it again, though? At the bottom left, in the blue, we have the player for Fnatic. Yes.
Fnatic Alive.
A former member of TSL.
Yeah. Just a really smart player. You know, I actually spoke to Twani specifically last night about Alive. He said, yeah, you can see him play, you see how good he is, and you see some of the decisions he makes, but he said just stand behind him for 2 hours, and you'll just see like how smart he really is.
He talked about that off racing that was going on. I think it was at MLG. There was a huge thread on Reddit or wherever it was about Alive off racing a Zerg and defeating some of NA's best players. So it was actually quite funny. He's just a really strong guy, and he knows the timings for the other races as well, which helps him a lot in these matchups. Yeah,
this is actually, a lot of people don't know this, but almost all top Korean players off race as practice. And they do it, you know, it's kind of like a relaxing time for them in some ways, but at the same time, they really like to get a feel for moments where they are vulnerable. You know, if you play Protoss, for example, then you play Terran off race, and you face a Protoss, you kind of really start to understand how vulnerable a Terran feels in certain phases of the game, and I think that's something that's really important that a lot of players are able to do. Not everyone does it, but a lot of people, like MVP, is really known for this.
Alive, by the way, has a 65% win ratio against Protoss. As we said earlier, this is one of his best matchups. It's actually, historically speaking, his best matchup. He showed it at IPL. IPL 4, we was able to take the tournament win. And this was pretty impressive run by Alive, and just in the recent past. It's just a great player. Parting, on the other hand, in this particular matchup with 58% win ratio. And we currently see both players go for an early expansion.
Yeah, Parting's expansion is really cool. He is going Nexus before Core. So he got his gas up. He's not losing any gas with his Nexus timing. He delays his Core a little bit significantly here. But with this timing, actually, it's very hard for Alive to actually put some sort of pressure on. So it's kind of a middle ground. It's in between Nexus first and a 1-gate expand. And I like this build.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And, well, as you said, Alive cannot really do too much damage with any kind of early game attacks against this, especially with the way he opened up. If he would have decided to go for some kind of 1-base pressure, then of course it would have been much more dangerous for Parting. But with this opening, Parting will be fine here. And of course Alive now following things up with the double barracks. Let's see when exactly he's going to add gas here. Alive style, I always feel like he's the player who will be on the offensive, who will start to be aggressive even before he hits the Medivacs, trying to find an opening. We see Keen against Protoss try to use those Marines that he sneaks by his opponent, scouting Stalker in nearly every game. But Alive might just try to do something like this. Going for the gas just now to start his tech off, and at the latest when the 2 Medivacs appear on the map, we'll see some kind of drop play and a little bit of aggression.
Exactly. We'll probably see one of these +1, 2 Medivac timings that have stim and combat shields. Parting going double gates before Robo. That's going to be his choice here. Oftentimes the Parting choice. Sometimes he even cuts Robos out entirely. And actually going to be going up to 4 gateways here, so he's going to be a little bit more aggressive than you would normally see on a map like this. But with the, you know, this map is one of these maps, we talked about this earlier, where the secondary ramp is far away, so when you actually fight, you don't actually have to break up that ramp, you're already there. The Terran struggles a lot more to defend against pressure like this. He didn't scout the probe.
I like this a lot, by the way. Yeah, exactly. This early aggression. It's something that we don't see this often lately anymore, do we? I mean, the last few weeks, if you think about it, most Protoss players just try to play it straight up, but this really aggressive 3-gate or 4-gate that you can still use in aggressive mode, but you can fall back onto, that doesn't happen all that often anymore. 6 gates, yeah, even some 7-gate attacks and whatever. This is stuff that we see regularly, but this, I really like it.
And Alive is actually going to sneak some Marines by here. This is actually designed to punish someone who's out on the map. and he's going to find Parting at the perfect timing. Is completely out of position here. Now, yeah, Alive is not going to have these Marines to defend, but if he kills a lot of probes here, it's going to make the attack of Parting a lot less effective. He's got to go now. He's sending his units through. The bunker is almost finished for Alive. He does not, I don't think, have enough units to defend at the front, though.
No, he does not have a lot of units at all in the main base. Now the Marines are trying to do as much damage as possible as the army of Parting is moving in. The force fields are, of course, trying to cover the bunker so that the SCVs don't have any surface area, but he misses a little bit, and now the SCVs can repair, and this is bad news for Parting.
He should have targeted down more of those SCVs, and in the end, he holds, and now Parting lost some of his units back at home, and everything is looking a little bit rough for him right now. And units lost, it's fairly similar, but, I mean, this is a problem for Parting because he's delayed his tech.
It's a big problem for Parting. It's not only about the tech. He lost so much mining time at his natural. He lost more harvesters than his opponent. Is now down in the harvester count against double orbital with the mules. So these force fields were really not really all that good by Parting. He could have done this a lot better, and then he might have been able to break through the bunker and crush Alive's defense.
Yeah, and he's basically have to all in now, and he's going to go for it. Going in for a few more weapons. The second bunker is almost ready. I like this high ground Marauder. By Alive is forced the units out of position for a second. He still has a lot of DPS here, though. The second bunker, he cannot actually load it because of the force fields. Alive is still not out of this yet. Taking a lot of losses here.
Much better force fields this time by Parting, and he's taking down SCVs, Marines, and even a few Marauders trying to save his units. The next swap in is already happening, and now Alive has to retreat. He's trying to hold the choke point. His orbital will, of course, not die, but this is really bad for Alive now. Parting is going for the all-in attack. He's doing so much damage. Even if it fails at this point, he can still make it work with all the damage that he's already dealt his opponent.
Exactly. This is exactly what he needed to get back into this game. He's got so many units here, and Alive losing more and more SCVs.
Nearly 30.
I don't know if Alive is going to be able to recover this time now. He's about to have 1-1, and his medevacs are on the way, but the next attack may just finish him off.
He doesn't even have to finish him off at this point. He's way behind in tech. This is the big problem, but Alive is so far down in economy. He doesn't have the second base mining. He doesn't have the harvester count anymore. He's going to lose his add-on here. The tech lab is gone.
He's going to die if Parting wants to kill him. We'll find out how merciful Parting is in just a few minutes here.
Parting is gassing in his main base. He's getting more probes now. He knows that he can always fall back, but he doesn't even have to. With Alive down on 30, 27, 23, 21 supply, this game is essentially over.
Yep, he's taking out the last of the Marauders. Good target fire here. The Marines stim and retreat, but where are they going to run? There's nowhere to run. This is the end. Parting will take Alive out here in game number 1. The second follow-up attack.
Really well done by Parting. Alive is now down to 8 supply. GG's out of the game. And Parting with a victory on